We often seek solutions in the external world, trying to control what others do, what others say, how others behave. But I tell you, true mastery begins within. Imagine for a moment a great tree, standing tall and proud in the face of a fierce storm. The wind howls, branches sway wildly, leaves are torn away, yet the trunk, deep-rooted and strong, remains unmoved. This tree does not fight the wind, it simply endures, rooted in its own truth. This tree is a metaphor for your inner self, your unshakable core. In life, we encounter many storms, moments of doubt, criticism, negativity, or simply individuals whose energy seems to drain our own. These are the winds that seek to uproot us, to pull us off balance. But just like the tree, you possess an inherent strength, a fundamental stillness that no external force can truly shatter unless you allow it. Cultivating this inner stillness is not about becoming emotionless or indifferent. It is about understanding that while emotions may arise, they do not have to define you or control your reactions. It's about creating a spaciousness within your mind where you can observe these external influences without becoming entangled in them. Think of it like this: when you stand on the riverbank, you see the water flowing by. You observe its movement, its currents, its eddies, but you are not swept away by it. You are the observer, not the one being carried downstream. How do we build this inner stillness? It begins with mindful awareness. Pay attention to your breath. Your breath is your anchor to the present moment, a constant reminder of your own living essence. When you feel agitated, when you feel the pull of external negativity, simply return to your breath, feel it enter your body, feel it leave. This simple act can create a powerful buffer between your inner peace and the chaotic world outside. Next, practice non-identification. We often identify so strongly with our thoughts and feelings that they become us. I am angry, we say, instead of anger is arising within me. This subtle shift in language is profound. It reminds you that thoughts and feelings are temporary visitors, not permanent residents. When a challenging remark is made, instead of immediately internalizing it as I am being attacked, observe it as a challenging remark has been made. This detachment allows you to choose your response rather than reacting impulsively. Finally, dedicate time to silent contemplation. In our noisy world, silence is a rare and precious commodity. Find moments each day, even just 5 or 10 minutes, to sit in silence. Turn off your devices, close your eyes, and simply be. In this silence, you can connect with that deeper part of yourself, that wise and calm presence that exists beneath the surface of everyday worries and external pressures. This is where your true power resides, an unshakable core that empowers you to stand firm, no matter what winds may blow. This is not about avoidance or cowardice, it is about wisdom and self-preservation. Imagine you are standing in a magnificent garden filled with vibrant flowers and nourishing sunlight. Now imagine someone tries to pull you into a thorny thicket, a place of shadows and sharp edges. Would you willingly step in? Of course not. Your energy, your peace, your mental well-being, these are your most precious resources, far more valuable than any fleeting argument or negative interaction. Many people spend their lives unconsciously, allowing others to dictate their emotional state. They become entangled in dramas that are not their own, absorbing negativity like a sponge. This is why disengagement is an art form. It requires discernment, discipline, and a deep understanding of what serves your highest good. Protecting your energy means recognizing when an interaction is no longer constructive, when it is merely designed to provoke, to drain, or to pull you into a lower vibration. How do we practice this art? Firstly, recognize the triggers. Pay attention to how certain conversations, certain individuals or certain environments make you feel? Do you feel a knot in your stomach? Does your heart rate quicken? Do you feel mentally exhausted afterwards? These are signals. Your body is telling you, this is not nourishing for me. Once you identify these triggers, you can begin to develop strategies to navigate them. One powerful strategy is the conscious redirect. When a conversation veers into unproductive negativity, you can gently but firmly redirect it. This might sound like, I understand your perspective, but I'd prefer to focus on solutions rather than problems, or let's agree to disagree on this point and move on. If a person consistently brings negativity, you can choose to limit your exposure. This isn't about cutting people out of your life entirely, but about being mindful of the quantity and quality of interaction. Perhaps a long phone call becomes a brief text message, or a prolonged debate becomes a simple, polite acknowledgement. Another aspect of disengagement is understanding that you are not responsible for other people's emotions or reactions. This is a profound liberation. People often project their own internal struggles onto others. When someone is angry, it is often their anger stemming from their own unmet needs or past wounds. When they criticize, it often reflects their own insecurities. When you understand this, you can create a mental shield. You can witness their emotions without absorbing them, much like watching clouds pass across the sky. They are there, but they do not touch you. Finally, embrace the power of silence and detachment. Sometimes, the most powerful response is no response at all. You do not need to justify, explain, or defend yourself in every situation. If someone is determined to misunderstand you or to engage in conflict, giving them more words only fuels the fire. A calm silence, a polite nod, or simply turning your attention elsewhere can be a powerful act of disengagement, signaling that you are not available for their drama. Remember, your peace is a precious commodity. Guard it fiercely. This is the art of disengagement, and it is essential for protecting your energy. My friends, we live in a world that often demands immediate reaction. The news, social media, even our daily interactions, everything seems designed to provoke an instant emotional response. But true mastery, true freedom, lies not in reacting, but in choosing your response. This is the power of intentional response. It is the ability to create a pause, a sacred space between stimulus and reaction, where you can consciously decide how you will show up in the world, regardless of what is happening around you. Consider this. Most people operate on autopilot. Someone says something critical, and they immediately feel hurt or defensive. Something goes wrong, and they immediately feel frustrated. This is the path of reaction, where external events dictate your internal state. But you, my friends, are capable of so much more. You are not a puppet on strings pulled by every external wind. You possess the inherent ability to choose your state. How do we cultivate this intentional response? It begins with self-awareness. When you feel a strong emotion arising, anger, frustration, hurt, take a moment to notice it. Don't suppress it, but don't immediately act on it either. Just observe it. Where do you feel it in your body? What thoughts are associated with it? This simple act of observation creates that crucial pause. Next, practice reframing. The way we interpret an event profoundly impacts our emotional response. Someone might say something insensitive. Your initial reaction might be, they are trying to hurt me. But what if you reframed it as, they might be struggling with something themselves, or perhaps they are unaware of the impact of their words. This doesn't excuse their behavior, but it shifts your internal narrative, allowing you to respond from a place of understanding rather than immediate offense. Reframing allows you to choose your state by choosing your perspective. Another powerful tool is to ask yourself, what is my intention? Before you speak, before you act, before you react, ask yourself, what do I truly want to achieve in this moment? Do I want to escalate the conflict? Do I want to prove a point, or do I want to maintain my peace, to foster understanding, or to simply move forward? When your response is guided by a clear and positive intention, it becomes a conscious choice rather than an impulsive reaction. Finally, remember the importance of empathy for yourself and for others. Sometimes, the most powerful intentional response is self-compassion. If you make a mistake, or if you feel overwhelmed by external pressures, offer yourself kindness instead of self-criticism. And while you are not responsible for others' emotions, understanding that everyone carries their own burdens can help you respond with less judgment and more patience. This doesn't mean you accept mistreatment, but it means you choose to respond from a place of strength and dignity, not from a place of reactivity. The power of intentional response is your key to mastering your emotional landscape and choosing your state, no matter the circumstances. My dear friends, just as a garden needs a fence to protect its delicate flowers from harsh winds or unwanted intrusion, so too do you need to establish energetic boundaries. This is not about building walls around your heart, but about creating a sacred space around your spirit, a protective perimeter that ensures your inner peace remains undisturbed. Many people mistakenly believe that being open means being endlessly available to everyone, no matter how their energy impacts you. I tell you, true openness comes from a place of strength, from knowing where you end and another begins. Setting energetic boundaries is about recognizing and honoring your own needs, your own values, and your own capacity. It's about understanding that you are not obligated to absorb, fix, or carry the emotional burdens of others. This is a profound act of self-love and self-respect. How do we establish these boundaries? First, it begins with clarity. You must become clear about what you will and will not tolerate, what truly nourishes your spirit and what drains it. What behaviors, conversations, or demands consistently leave you feeling depleted? Be honest with yourself. This clarity is the foundation of your energetic fence. Next comes communication. This doesn't always mean a confrontational conversation. Sometimes it means subtly shifting your availability. It might be saying, I can't take on any more projects right now, or I'm not available for that kind of conversation at the moment, or even simply, I need some quiet time. It might be choosing not to engage with certain topics that consistently lead to negativity. Your words are powerful tools for defining your space. When you communicate your boundaries clearly and calmly, you teach others how to treat you. Another crucial aspect is the practice of saying no. For many, no is a difficult word. They fear disappointing others or being perceived as unhelpful, but a no to something that drains you is a yes to your own well-being, your own energy, and your own priorities. Remember, your time and energy are finite. Every yes to an external demand is a no to something else, perhaps something vital for your own rest, growth, or creative pursuits. Embrace the power of the respectful no. Finally, remember that boundaries are not static. They are fluid, adaptable to different situations and different relationships. You might have different boundaries with a close family member than with a casual acquaintance. The key is to constantly check in with yourself. Does this interaction feel nourishing or draining? Am I honoring my own truth? If an energetic boundary is breached, gently but firmly re-establish it. This isn't about pushing people away. It's about defining the terms of engagement. By setting energetic boundaries, you are creating a sanctuary for your spirit, a sacred space where your peace can flourish, undisturbed by the external world. My friends, we have spoken of inner stillness, of disengagement, of intentional response, and of boundaries. But the ultimate aim of this journey is not merely to defend against external negativity, but to transcend it entirely by becoming your own source of radiance. True mastery is not found in avoiding all challenges, but in becoming so luminous from within that external shadows lose their power over you. When you are a sun, casting your own light, the small clouds that pass by cannot diminish your brilliance. The radiance of self-empowerment means recognizing that your well-being, your happiness, and your peace are not dependent on external validation or the behavior of others. They are cultivated from within. It means taking full responsibility for your own emotional landscape and understanding that you have the inherent capacity to generate joy, gratitude, and resilience, regardless of what life throws your way. How do we ignite this inner radiance? It begins with self-acceptance. Many people are their own harshest critics, constantly judging themselves, striving for an impossible perfection. But your true strength lies in accepting yourself fully, flaws and all. When you are at peace with who you are, the opinions of others lose their sting. Their judgments reflect their own inner world, not your inherent worth. Embrace your unique journey, your unique strengths, and even your unique challenges. Next, focus on cultivating positive emotions. This is not about forced cheerfulness, but about intentionally seeking out experiences, thoughts, and connections that uplift you. Practice gratitude daily. Even in difficult times, there are always small mercies, small blessings. Find them, acknowledge them, and let them fill your heart. Engage in activities that bring you joy, that ignite your passion, that make you feel alive. When your inner well is full of positive emotions, there is less room for negativity to take root. You become your own source of happiness. Furthermore, dedicate yourself to purposeful action. When you are engaged in something meaningful, something that contributes to the world or to your own growth, your energy becomes channeled and focused. Idleness often invites rumination and vulnerability to external influences. But when you are actively building, creating, learning, or serving, you are embodying your highest self. Your sense of purpose becomes a protective shield, radiating strength and resilience. Finally, remember that you are a unique expression of life itself. You possess an inherent spark, an inner light that is inextinguishable. Your journey is to uncover that light, to nurture it, and to allow it to shine brightly. When you are truly self-empowered, when you are your own source of radiance, you no longer seek validation from the outside. You are complete within yourself, and in that completeness, external challenges become mere fleeting shadows, incapable of dimming the brilliant light that emanates from your very core. This is the ultimate freedom, the ultimate peace. This is the radiance of self-empowerment.